Hello.
All right, we'll start off for the champions. Our first question goes right here in the front row.
Hey guys, Connor Casey from comicbook.com here. Guys, longtime fans of yours know your historic history as a tag team, especially in this city. What did it mean to you guys to not only become champions together, but to do it in the main event of WrestleMania?
So I guess I'll just say what we said at the top of the ramp. After everything that's kind of set in and everything that happened, and we realized what we had accomplished and where we were at this point, we walked up the ramp, we looked at the WrestleMania set, we turned around, we saw the sea of people, the stadium, and the one thing that I said to him is, none of this would have happened without Super Dragon and PWG, which is where we made our name here in California. And without the opportunities that he gave us, I really don't think things would have turned out the way they did for us. So it meant a lot to be here, to do it here together. And yeah, it's just really hard to put into words.
Gentlemen, John Alba, Fight. I feel like one of the most important pieces of this story is the attention to detail and not rushing things. The old cliche, let it play out, if you will. Mm-hmm. And that's something a little different in the realm of WWE, where they're not afraid to go back into your guys' past outside of the walls of Alexandria. How important has that been, in your opinion, for you guys in telling this story, and how fulfilling is it as performers to get a chance to hit on those beats?
What's Alexandria?
The walls of normalcy.
Oh.
I actually was just going to pretend I was smart and used to that expression, but
I have no problem.
If you want to draw attention to it, fine. I'll say I don't know. Look, there are Hall of Famers, there are world champions multiple times over. I'm talking some of the best of the best of the best ever that have never gotten to tell a story like this over this course of time with this level of depth, with this many talented individuals in front and in back of the camera, but especially on the performance side of it. So I feel just so lucky to have been a part of it. This feels like the culmination of it, although, as you said, it's a pretty long timeline with WWE, so even if you think you've put a nice little bow on it, we can unravel that any time and call back to it, and that's one of the, again, I think that's actually been the beauty of this story, is the number of callbacks. And also just so much of it would not have worked with any other individuals. It had to be the Usos and Roman because that is a legitimate lifelong relationship. It had to be Kevin because that is a legitimate, 20-year friendship. And without that level of reality bleeding into story, it just wouldn't work. But again, one of the things that I take a lot of pride in with this story over the past year is that little, I do think it transcended the classical kind of wrestling storyline for sure. And I actually think it's a glimpse into what, because of its effectiveness, I think it could be a glimpse of what storylines going forward, if not achieve, will at least aspire to, in my opinion. I think this is much like you saw with television, how it kind of evolved to the golden age of television in the 2000s with HBO and things like that, and more complex and more layered characters. So too do I think this story, if I may be so bold as to offer a comparison, it's almost like The Sopranos. It is to WWE what The Sopranos was to television, if I may be so bold as to make that comparison.
Hey guys, Dominic D'Angelo at freeshows.com. Congratulations to you first. And secondly, does it almost kind of feel like a cathartic release for both of you, the journey you guys have been on with this compelling story? And on top of that, talk about the journey you kind of had to get the opportunity to kind of speak out a little bit more to you with your cause for Syria, and as well as just Kevin, you like the love that you get to share with your family and your son and everybody involved with that. How big does this kind of moment mean to you guys in that regard?
Look, man, there's something about, it's, like I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but when I said it's hard to put into words, the history we've had here, the history here, the things we've gone through to get to where we are, You know, funny enough, most of which we've probably forgotten until something sparks a memory, and then we remember, kind of like we were doing today, you know, talking to each other. And then we get to share that, like you said, with our families that are there. Our families know each other, they've known each other for years. We get to, and like, it's almost what that we get to share with our families and everything, but everybody that's watching is so well versed and knows everything that's happened between us. And you know, you mentioned how it couldn't have been with any other players in that story because of all the real life elements that come to it. It's really hard to describe feeling what we feel in the ring and knowing what the people we love are feeling watching us do it, and they've been along for the ride. So I wish I had a more eloquent answer, but like I said, it's hard to put into words, and I think everybody can relate to that, though. You know, I think everybody knows exactly what I mean and the feeling I'm trying to describe. So.
It's weird that we don't have words for it yet. Weird, right? It is complex. I won't piggyback off that too
Very
much.
satisfying.
Come on, it's twice. I don't know. Yeah, I do agree with the sentiment of it is. It's funny that you say cathartic, because that is one thing that I didn't anticipate. As soon as that 3 hit the mat, there was a genuine release of emotion that I did not anticipate.
Yeah.
Even if I, let's say, plan as a performer to like, ooh, this would be a good moment to display emotion. That thought didn't even get to cross my mind because it punched its way out of my body. So there was a catharsis to it, but there's also, man, it's hard to put into words. Yeah, there's just a lot because you think about weird things. And you know, when you talked about, or your question about our history in Los Angeles and making our name here, you know, we think about things like landing and back when cell phones didn't work when you crossed the border and not knowing if anyone was going to pick you up and waiting at Terminal 5, you know, and just waiting for Super Dragon's car to come and maybe he's been looping the airport 5 or 6 and having no way. All these, I know they sound like long stories, I'm about to drone on and on, but that's happening in the ring, that's happening in the entrance, you're getting bombarded with weird memories like that, in conjunction with everything else that he's talking about. So I think that's why it's so hard to put into words, because the mind has a really crazy ability in moments like this, in intense emotional moments like this, to throw multiple seemingly disjointed memories at you all at once. And then you feel all the things all at once. So that's why it's so hard to put into words, I think.
Thanks. Keith Whittier with Ottawa Life magazine. Congratulations to both of you. It was just a few short weeks ago that we were in Montreal, Quebec, Canada for Elimination Chamber, and that city came absolutely unglued for you primarily, Sammy, and of course with you, Kevin, coming out towards the end. I know you've got fans around the world, but I know that Montreal is erupting tonight. Is there anything that you'd like to say to your Canadian fans, specifically those in Montreal?
For me personally, I can't thank them enough for that. Really, I think I speak for both of us here. They've made our careers, and I know we talk about Montreal and we're talking about LA too, and it's a different kind of animal, but for me personally in my career, I mean, my debut was with Cena in Montreal, and that kind of made me. It set the tone. And I think what they did for me in August of last year, when I got on screen with Roman for the first time after months of build-up, their love for me is so contagious. Because, you know, you watch it through the television screen, and then people in like Little Rock, Arkansas are feeling that. They feel the love through their screen, and then it's contagious. So like they have elevated me, and like, don't get me wrong, the story and Roman and that match and everything else elevated me. But I think what that match did for me really cemented me as far as taking me from the next level. From where I was a year ago doing that stuff with Knoxville, which I'm not disparaging, it's one of the proudest matches of my career. But taking me from where I was on the card, or maybe how I was viewed, at least internally or within some fans' eyes, Montreal helped really cement me as something else now. The fact that I just main evented with my brother and won the tag team titles, which, by the way, have never been in the main event of WrestleMania ever. Little trivia for you there. And so we did that, and that's wild. And I think Montreal actually has a huge part to play with that.
Denise Salcedo, Instinct Culture. I wanted to direct this question to you, Sammy, because a lot of people, including Kevin Owens, have referred to you as the MVP. And so I want to ask you, for you, how does that make you feel? How validating is that?
Well, it's interesting because I don't know what it is, but I just don't buy into it. I appreciate it, but I've been telling people this a lot lately because people will go like, "Man, you're red hot right now. You're the hottest babyface." So they were saying that in the last few months. I'll just be like, "Am I though?" You know, I just don't like. And anytime my music hits, I expect nothing, and then if I get something, I go, "Oh my God, wow, that's nice. They like me tonight." Like I don't know what it is. I think I've just always approached my entire career this way of like, don't take it for granted, or don't expect anything. And it's your job to like get them to 100 every night, but assume you're starting at 0. And then if you start at 60, you go, "Oh, wow, I only got 40 to go. This is great." But I just mentally, what? Oh, I thought he was. Were you eating the Snickers?
No, not at the time.
I swear I heard him whispering disparaging comments under his breath.
No, somebody from it was Blake.
Whatever. Anyways, not even important. I don't know what that was. That was like a dog squirrel. All this to say, I assume you never saw that movie, The Dog and Up. You know what I'm talking about. The dog sees a squirrel in the park or whatever. We're getting way off base. My point is, I tend to minimize. I tend to minimize my whatever standing in the fans' eyes or my standing in the company or whatever, because I just don't want to start being the guy that's like, "Have you heard?" I'm about to go into a Braun Strowman impression for whatever reason there, but "You heard my music tonight?"
For whatever reason. I really wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. "Do you hear that pop out there? I'm so over. Sorry, Braun. I'm so sorry. Braun, I'm sorry." I don't know, but you get what I'm saying? I just don't want to, I don't play that game. I just, I've approached my entire career as like, well, gotta go to work. Gotta go get them. And if they're with me, that's wonderful. And they have been with me, and I appreciate it to no end, really. Because I wouldn't be in this position if they didn't take me there.
All right, our final question goes to the back row.
Bill Pritchard, WrestleZone.com. Sammy, ahead of Elimination Chamber, you said that was your WrestleMania moment in many ways, but now that this night's complete, how do you feel not only getting to share this with Kevin, but the historical context of this was the second tag team main event and the first for a championship match, tag team championship match?
Well, I feel very lucky because not a lot of people get 2 WrestleManias in 6 weeks, but I did. And they're apples and oranges a little bit. Hard to compare them, but they're two of the biggest, proudest nights of my entire life. And they just happen to be just a mere 6 or 8 weeks apart. That night did feel like WrestleMania. Tonight had the happy ending though, that was nice. And it was with him and in LA and everything else, so it's like, it's different. And I don't have multiple children. Let me preface what I'm about to say with that statement. But I would assume it's like when you have multiple children and you just love them all in different ways, right? So, why? No?
No, I was just itchy.
Okay.
I swear.
Okay.
Unrelated.
I don't know. Like I love them both. I don't hold one, and I don't tend to put things in a hierarchy of importance. Of this is more valuable because it was on a bigger platform or whatever. So therefore, it's higher on the totem pole of worth or whatever. It's the metrics that I use are like creative satisfaction and what I was able to create that night. And what I created that night was magical. What I was able to be a part of was magical. And what I was able to create along with these guys and be a part of tonight was also magical. It's apples and oranges, but they're both delicious, and I'm just lucky to be eating so much delicious fruit. Oh my God.
Well, now that we're all hungry, we are done. Sammy, Kevin, congratulations.
Before we go, I just want to say one thing. We've talked about him being the MVP, and I've said it like you said, and it's true. Before we go, 2 things. The Usos, even though everybody loves them, everybody appreciates them, they're underappreciated. They're the best. Unbelievable. I don't have enough good words for them. And also, I said PWG helped us get here. Super Dragon helped us get here. There's 2 other guys that really helped us get here. Their names are Mark and Jay Briscoe. We lost Jay recently. I really hope we made him proud tonight, because, God, great guys, and we really miss them.
Yeah. Life goes fast, and so it's nice to just enjoy these moments, I think. So
Thanks a lot.
thank you for
guys.
being a part of it, and thank you for letting us do it.
Thank you.